بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. إن أريد إلا الإصلاح ما استطعت وما توفيقي إلا بالله. Respected brothers, sisters and dear listeners, we stopped last week when Abraha he decided to come and attack Makkah al-Mukarramah to destroy Al-Ka'bah al-Musharrafah, and this was stopped by the miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this incident actually give Al-Ka'bah more and more respect, more and more honor. This year, the historian they call it Aam al-Fil, the year of elephant. And this year actually is going to be witness the birth of Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on this year, just 55 days after this incident, on the month of Rabi' al-Awwal, that was the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As we mentioned earlier, his mother was pregnant with him. And throughout her pregnancy, she didn't feel any pain, any sickness, any tiredness, to the extent that at one stage, she thought she's not even pregnant. She was just very light. Then on one of the nights, Sayyidah Amina, his mother sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, while she was sleeping, she saw in her dream that there is a bright light coming out of her. And this light going as far as Al-Sham, as far as Al-Yaman, giving light and give nur and light to each and every corner on this earth. On Monday, 12 of Rabi' al-Awwal, year 570, that we call Aam al-Fil, or year of elephant, that was the birth of the nur, was going to guide the mankind. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ya Sayyidi, ya Rasulullah. So Rasulullah sallam born on that day. The lady, now, Rasulullah sallam is not a normal person. He's a most blessed person. So there is some abnormal incidents happened accompanying his birth, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The moment Rasulullah sallam born, the lady which received him, her name was Al-Shifa Abdul Rahman. She received Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The moment Rasulullah sallallahu she received him, she heard the voice says, Yarhamukallah, Allah's mercy upon you. So Allah give His mercy to our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be mercy to mankind sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On the same incidents, Kisra, that was the king of Persia. Persia was at those days the superpower, very big empire. Something unusual happened. About 14 of the windows of his palace and verandas just fall down and broken. They have a big fire going on for thousands of years. They were worshiping this fire day and night. This fire just stopped. There was a lake of water where they also worship called Buhayrat Sawa. It also get dry. Just an indication that this coming prophet is going to stop all these things. Sayyidina Hassan ibn Thabit, one of the great Sahaba, he reported that on that night when Rasulullah sallallahu born, he was 7 years old. And he was together with other people in a business trip in Al-Madinah al-Munawwara, which was known as Yathrib those days. Then he heard one Jew. He came out, he said, "Oh people, wake up! The coming prophet is going to born tonight. The signal is there. I can see in the sky that red star is coming." So Sayyidina Hassan ibn Thabit, when they arrived to Mecca later on, they asked, "Is anybody born?" He said, "Yes, late Abdullah, he got a baby boy." And that's it. Now, the good news fly to his grandfather Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib, he was so happy to hear that he got a child, a son, for his late son who just passed away a few months ago. Then he hold that baby and he make tawaf around the Kaaba al-Musharrafa and keep him, back to his mother. Then people keep asking Abdul Muttalib, what name are you going to give to your grandson? He kept quiet until day 7. When he heard, do you remember Abdul Muttalib? He used to see in his dream, go and dig Zamzam, go and do this. So he got something, came to him and said, call him Muhammad. Then when people asked Abdul Muttalib, what name you give to your son? He said, I gave him the name of Muhammad. Muhammad was not a very common name in the Arabia at that time. So they told him, why Muhammad? Muhammad actually, it comes from the verb hamada. Hamada means thank. Muhammad is a thankful, he's appreciated person. So Abdul Muttalib, he said, حتى يكون محمد في الأرض ومحمود في السماء صلى الله عليه وسلم. I give him that name to be thankful and appreciated on this earth and in the heaven. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the ladies whom they give Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam breastfeed was his mother, Sayyidah Amina, and there was a lady called Thuwaiba. She was a worker slave to Abu Lahab, his uncle. And when he heard that, he gave it to Amina to help. Also, she gave Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam breastfeed. And then worker, his own, her name was Ayman Baraka. Those whom give Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam breastfeed in these first few days of his life. And as a tradition, on these days, that the people give their children to a foster mother to feed him. Go out in the bush, outside in the Bedouin, where there is fresh air, less pollution, and that. So, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they take him, and the ladies came from this tribe called Bani Sa'd. All the ladies coming to pick up, babies and take them. Then when they woke, he found Rasulullah, who is the father of that baby? He said, no, he's an orphan. Orphan. There is no much of fruit out of that orphan. Who's going to pay us? Then they leave, and they take somebody else, until all the children are gone. And Rasulullah left alone. There was a lady, her name Halima bint Abi Zu'ayb al-Sa'idiyya, from the tribe of Bani Sa'd. So Halima, she was coming on a very skinny camel, and she herself was getting dry breast, and got her own baby. His name was Abdullah, and her husband, his name is Al-Harith ibn Abdul Uzza. They are coming slowly. By the time they arrive to Mecca, all the children are gone. And only that baby who's left, they found that he's orphan. Said, let us leave him. She was almost leaving and going back, then told her husband, how about if we just take that orphan? Better than nothing. Rather than you go home empty-handed. Because they are also being paid, So she reported that the moment she came back and her eye falls on Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she said, I fall in love with that. Rasulullah, throughout his history, every person dealt with him, just loved him. Even his own enemies. Nobody can say one word about Rasulullah. She said, I feel I love this people. And now she holds Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now we are going to see Ar-Rahmah, the mercy to mankind sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His mercy from the moment he born till the moment he passed away sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The moment the lady, she held Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she found that her dry breast full of milk. The milk just flopped out of it. She gave Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam her right side. She fed him until he got satisfied. Trying to give him the left, he refused. As if he wanted to say, give my other brother. He's also hungry. So she gave her other son, Abdullah. They fed, and she looked at the skinny camel. We found it is fat. And milk coming out of that camel. They milk, she drank, her husband drank, and they gone back to their tribe. Her camel is running fast. Even the ladies, they said, Halima, is that the same camel you came with? He said, Wallah, it's the same camel. Then they arrived to their tribe. It was a drought, dry for many years. The moment Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam arrived there, just rain came. plenty of rain, plenty of fruit, plenty of food, plenty of crops. Everything was in abundance. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. To the extent that Halima al-Sa'diyah, she used to send her children with their animals, sheep and goat, outside in the bush to feed the animals. Her animals come back fat, full of milk. And her friends, all the neighbors, not all that big, they shout to their children, say, why don't you go find where is Halima, where is this Bint Abu Zu'ayb? She feed her animals. Go and find where she feed her animals and feed them there. They took the animals to the same place, no change. They don't know that she's carrying the blessed one, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And in fact, my brothers, you will see it even in our days. You find the people, they don't understand that this risk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who directed to whom He like. You find people go for fishing, for example, find somebody sit in one corner and he got a nice catch. Somebody come and says, hey, go away from that place. I want to take your place. You take his place, nothing. Then you go to other place, you got a nice catch. You don't know that your risk is going to come to you wherever you are. That's why Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, لو ركب أحدكم الريح هربا من رزقه لركب له الرزق برقا ليلحق بها. What it means that if any one of you ride the wind, you see how fast the wind is, just to run away from your risk, to run away. I don't want it. This risk is going to ride light, which is faster, to catch you. It is yours. Nobody else can get it. So Halima al-Sa'diyah, she carried on enjoying looking after our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now the difficult moment came when Rasulullah is 2 years old, time of winning. How can she leave Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to go? So she went to his mother, tried to convince her. She wanted to give him some extra years. So she found also good excuse. She told her, look, there is an outbreak might come out in Mecca, and in our area there's pollution. Why don't you give him some? So Asida Amina, his mother, she agreed and left Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam with Halima for some more time. Now Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he's growing up. And when he was 4 years old, he went out with his foster brother playing outside in the bush. Then Halima and her husband is sitting at home. They found her son Abdullah coming, running home. Said, mother, please come. My brother Muhammad al-Qurashi has been killed. Allahu Akbar. Killed? What do you talk about? They run to see what's happening. Then they found Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is lying pale, fainting, sweating under the tree. Then they told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what's happened, my son? He told her, two men, I never see such kind of men. They put in white clothes. And one of them, he said, huwa, that is him. The other said, yes, it is him. They put me down, they open my chest and take something out, throw it away and close it again. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, later on he reported, he said, this was Jibreel alayhi salam. He came and he took أخذ حظ الشيطان مني. He took that piece out of my heart, which is responsible for waswasat al-shayateen. So the shaitan doesn't have any way to get nearby Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You got a receptor in your heart where shaitan can attack. This was out. So shaitan doesn't have a way. He was blocked to come nearby Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And nowadays we hear about open heart surgery. It's not nothing for Allah's qudra subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the shaitan, he doesn't have any chance to get nearby Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, من رآني في المنام فقد رآني فإن الشيطان لا يتمثل بي. Whoever see me in his dream is as much as have seen me in reality. Because shaitan, he can't imitate me. Shaitan can come to you in any form, but not in the form of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah grant us seeing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam more and more in this dunya and day after. Now after this incident, Sayyidah Halima, she get worried about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Especially when there is people from Abyssinia, they came to that place and told her this is the signs of the prophethood. And this boy might be kidnapped or might be killed. So she get worried and send him back to his mother. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spent a very good time with his mother. Very simple life. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to say, أنا ابن امرأة كانت تأكل القضيب بمكة. I'm the son of a lady used to eat old hard bread in Mecca. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is 6 years old. So his mother, she never forgot her husband. She wanted to go and visit his grave in Medina. She told her son, let us go and see also your uncle there. She take her maid, said to Ayman, Baraka, and they went to Al-Madinah. They spent about a month there. She visited her grave, the grave of her late husband, and she visited the Rasulullah's uncles and everybody. They have about a month there. Then they coming back to Mecca, just outside Al-Madinah to Munawwara, in a place called Al-Abwa. Outside Al-Madinah, his mother passed away and buried there. Now, respected brothers and sisters, the real orphanage, you feel it only when you lose your mother. The moment you lose your mother, you feel that you lost a great support. You lost a great backup, no matter how old are you. That's why Al-Habib Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Al-Jannatu tahta aqdam al-ummahat. Paradise under the feet of the mothers. So whoever his mother is still alive, please don't miss the opportunity and go sit in the paradise under her feet. And the one whose mother passed away, just make dua to your mother every day. May Allah grant them all Jannatul Na'im. Now Al-Habib al-Mustafa going back to Mecca with heart full of sadness. That poor child lost his father when he was in his mother's home. Now 6 years old, losing his mother. The news has spread. His grandfather Abdul Muttalib was waiting to receive Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he held his grandson and kept him with him, and he looked after him and gave him all kind of care, to the extent Abdul Muttalib, as the chief of the tribe, they used to sit next to Al-Kaaba with a special mat only for Abdul Muttalib. Nobody can come nearby it, none of his son, none of his anybody. But when he see Rasulullah sallam walking, he took him, said him, this is my son. He sat next to him on his own mat. Now Rasulullah sallam is 8 years old. His grandfather Abdul Muttalib passed away. Ya subhanallah. He was about 80 years. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he felt again so sad. And it was so painful to lose his grandfather just a couple of years after the loss of his mother. That's why when they was asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what is your way of life? He said, Al-ma'rifatu رأس مالي وحب الله طريقي والحزن رفيقي. That the knowledge and seeking knowledge is my capital, is my asset. The love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and making dhikr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my way of life. And sadness is my companion. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ya habibi, ya Rasulullah. Now, somebody might ask, this happened, what wisdom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he was addressing Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he says, وَاصْطَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي, I made you special from me. That's Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Even though he grown up with his mother, father, everybody, even to the extent when they give him somebody else, he refused to take feed from any ladies until they brought his mother, and he grown up with his mother. While Al-Habib al-Mustafa, he grown up with no father, with no mother, with nobody. Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu he said, أَدَّبَنِي رَبِّي فَأَحْسَنَ تَأْدِيبِي. Allah has brought me up the best way it should be, with no influence of any mother, of any father, of anybody else. It was painful, it was sad, but for a reason. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ayah Shaykh was reading, أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. Allah addressing our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he's telling him, isn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he found you orphan, and he gave you all kind of support and all kind of love, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, Abdul Muttalib, before he died, he called his children and he gave instruction to his son, Abu Talib. He said, if I die, you look after Muhammad. He chosen Abu Talib for two reasons. One, Abu Talib, he's a real brother to Abdullah. So him and Abdullah from the same father, the same mother. The others from different mothers. Secondly, that Abu Talib, he was the most generous among his brothers. Though he's not the most wealthy, but he was the most generous. And generosity and wealth are not related. You find somebody very, very rich, very wealthy, but you hardly take 1 cent out of him. When you meet somebody who got only $5 in his pocket, if you ask him, he can just give you all what he got. So Abu Talib was just very generous. So now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I want you to live the moment with Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's moving from house to house. Now he left his mother's house to his grandfather's house, now to his uncle's house. He was feeling quiet, feeling lonely. Though his uncle was giving him all kind of love, exactly like his other children, even sometime more. But Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was always quiet. When they put food, all the children rush, and he kept quiet in a corner, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Until his uncle says, my son, why don't you go and eat? So Rasulullah, he grown up in his uncle's house. Now Al-Habib Mustafa is 12 years old, and his uncle Abu Talib, he was going for a business trip in Al-Sham. So he thought, I shouldn't leave my son, my nephew, behind. I will take him. That was very strict. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam make it to Al-Sham. So they carried on the caravan. All the people bought their goods, what they are going to take, etc. And they carried on in Al-Sham. When they are close to Al-Sham, in a place called Busra, there was, we call it Sawma'a, a place like a church sort of, and the Rahib, like a priest, who was sitting in his place, and he's looking from the window. Far, he found this caravan, something unusual happening here. It was summertime. The sky was just clear. There's not single cloud. It was only one big cloud covering this caravan. Wherever they go, the cloud covering them. They sit in the shade. The cloud disappear. They start walking, the cloud start to appear again. So this Bahira, he went outside his door and wait for them to pass by his place. Said, please, you people, you are invited for a meal in my place. And somebody said, Bahira, what's wrong? We pass on and off every day in that place. You never invited us even for a sip of water. Why today? He said, no, please come in. So they all walked in and they left Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam outside. So he looked in their face, because it is written in their books, the criteria and the character of the coming prophet in details. So they know. One of the signs that يُظَلِّلْهُ الْغَمَامِ, he found a cloud, wherever he go, there is a certain cloud appointed to cover Al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So he said, he can't see what is he looking for. He said, are you missing somebody? He said, yes. There's a young boy outside. He said, please let him in. Then the moment he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he recognized him. Then he wanted to make a test. He told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَاللَّاتِ وَالْعُزَّةِ, in the name of Allati wal-Uzza. Allati wal-Uzza, these two big idols, they are workshopping, it's just very big idols. He said, وَاللَّاتِ وَالْعُزَّةِ, I want to ask you some questions, and you give me the Rasulullah. He interrupted him and said, please, I hate nothing in my life, 12 years old. I hate nothing in my life more than this Allati wal-Uzza. Don't swear by Allati wal-Uzza. He told him, what should I say? Say Wallahi, in the name of Allah. Then the man started to get more and more convinced that he is now talking to the coming prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He kept asking Rasulullah questions, and then he's found a birthmark on the back of the shoulder of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Khatam al-Nubuwwah. Then he realized that this is the prophet. Called his uncle, told Abu Talib, who is this boy to you? He said, he's my son. In our culture, like African culture, when, my nephew, I call him my son. Your cousin, you say my brother, and etc. So I said, he's my son. He said, no, this boy, he should be orphaned by now. His father should be passed away. He said, yes, his father passed away. And I'm his uncle. He's my nephew. He said, look, he's going to be a great man. He's going to be somebody. Please look after him. So Abu Talib, he didn't take it serious. He thought it's just sort of compliment, And he took Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they came back to Makkah al-Mukarramah. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his teen age, he worked as a shepherd. Shepherd and prophethood is something closely related. And most, if not all the prophets, they worked as a shepherd at one stage in their life. Because when you go out with your small little animals, sheep, goat, you go and sit in the bush. You got time to think, to relax, to sort of meditation. Think of what is going on around you. Then Rasulullah, he grown up and he started to gain a lot of love and respect from the community, though he was young. And they called him as-Sadiq al-Amin, the honest, trustful person. But there was a lot of things going around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some of it was good, and most of it was bad. What was these things, and how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to deal with it? This is what we are going to know next week, inshallah. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.